in tomorrow's best-of-5 grand finals. And, guys, things have gotten heated. We had a little bit of a disagreement in our last match in the lobby between veteran captains 1437 and Misery. I'm going to bring back in my four-man panel here as we get ready for a hype Game 3 between two great teams. What do you guys think? Who's got the edge?
The way I see it here, we essentially have a battle between the Axis and the Allies. And my question to Shane is, which one is which team?
Okay. So I have to pick the evil one.
What
DC or ex-DC, they left there because evil reasons. And they're coming.
Reasons.
They moved to Planet Odd to take over the world. There you go.
There we go. The Emperor, Palpatine, Misery walking on stage. I don't think so, no. I cannot go with this, Jenkins. I am sorry.
Never
Both
stop.
teams coming on stage. Both of these teams really resurgence in this tournament, particularly from TNC, but Planet Odd looking like a different team in that last game, found that solution to get we going after a couple of rough games against Newbie and in game 1 of this series.
I feel like Hello Magazine or something, spreading some drama around. You know what I mean?
We
have-
got to create that tension, man. It's for
We
the
have some
viewers.
weird pictures of Misery with someone else. I don't know.
No, jeez.
Yeah.
I heard
this
something
just
about
got out
the,
of control quickly.
when they were teammates.
Brax,
there was-
please save me.
I can't save you. I can only help make it worse.
Please make it worse,
Proceed.
Brax.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I really wasn't listening.
That happened.
That's
I zoned out once I started taking a look at my
Professional
notes.
segment.
those are Nahaz's notes. Those are the same ones.
So we don't have a draft yet, right? They weren't in the room
We
for
will
the
have
No.
a draft in,
Okay.
in a few moments, but no, not yet. Let's talk a little bit about adjustments because that was the
First phase ban the Furion.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I was going to build up to that slowly. Jenkins, you stole my thunder.
There's no way they let it through. I mean, I hyped that guy up, and I looked on Reddit. It's like they're really hyping this guy up. I hope you understand. Where's the camera? I hope you understand
no,
now.
you're-
This one, this one.
You're pointing out that Reddit user 469 that Jenkins was right. Not great.
Yeah.
Wow.
You sure told him.
There's going to be a
did.
legion of them hunting you down now.
Oh, there already is.
Really?
No.
It's Reddit, dude. There's a legion of people hunting for everybody. It's just how it works.
I think Wee's puck actually was
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah,
he was
it
the
was
one
good.
He controlled the game.
Yeah.
He actually made so much space for the Furion to be able to do anything, right?
Is it just me, or did it seem like he was doing a crazy amount of damage?
Yep.
Like he would just go on a Spirit Breaker from full HP, and it's like, okay, he's gonna get him to 50% or something. Spirit Breaker's gonna run away, dead from full HP. I think it was also comboing something with the they'd have like the Night Stalker nuke come in right at the right time because they were kind of ganking together.
Yeah.
Fury on ulti, but the amount of burst that they were applying to these otherwise very tanky heroes is actually crazy.
If you get a head on puck and you have like 4 points in your first 2 spells, you actually do a lot of damage with Veil early game.
Yeah,
Jenkins, you sound like you're dying over there. Your throat is
It's,
having a difficult time.
It's getting a little difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pounding down the Ricolas though, so I should be good.
There's so much kill potential with the Veil, and then Puck is a hero that almost has solo kill potential on a lot of these heroes, right? Once you throw in the
Yeah.
Furion ultimate, teleport, even just a Night Stalker nuke, it's enough to pretty much kill anyone on the map, right?
Yep.
Furion ulti is actually something people forget about the hero, right? You think
Yeah.
about Furion, you think about pushing, you think about Sprout and TP.
It's just not a common hero anymore.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then if you time it right and you position it on the right side of the map, there's enough creeps for it to bounce. It can actually do like 500, 600
Yeah,
damage.
there's actually a 100%. You can predict exactly where the Furion ult is actually going to go. It literally will go from target to target, whichever the closest is. I know a lot of people think it might be like somewhat random, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
You can go to a practice lobby and you can practice, and if you press the same spot every single time, it will hit the exact
on the
same
right
order.
time as
Yep,
well.
yep. So technically speaking, an insanely skilled Furion could hit that 16th tick on a hero 100% of the time, assuming that they had like perfect computation skills, but obviously isn't.
Yeah, like vision in certain areas. That kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Well, I want to refocus on something that we've talked a lot about in the panels leading up to this, as we do see this draft here. I think lanes were super important in that game. That was the first match that I've seen today that we really played aggressive from minute 1. You saw him, one of the first highlights after the last match was that dive behind the tier 1 tower. I feel like since he got sacked in that Skywrath game this morning,
Yeah.
you kind of lost that killer instinct in lane. And
Yeah,
that's the first
yeah.
match that we've really seen Weeha really put the pressure on the enemy.
And actually, speaking of lanes, I like the Planet Odd ban out the Bat Rider because while he does go into the lane and die a bunch of times, always the supports are up there having to deal with him. It's absolutely
What an
ridiculous.
That's a
introduction.
subtle way to call him a feeder, isn't it?
No, dude,
Yeah,
We've talked about
clearly,
this though for
clearly they actually respect it though, because they're first phase
Yeah.
banning it for like
he
hundreds of
puts
thousands.
so much pressure on, even though he might die.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like the Abaddon play, exactly like the Omni Knight play. You go to the lane, they try to kill you, but they waste so many resources and so many people, TPs and things like that, trying to kill you, that it's not even worth it. And he just plays well in the mid game anyway and comes back.
Planet Odd also respecting the strength of Night Stalker, right?
Wisp
Yeah.
on the
Banning it
table
out because
for
they don't have the first
TNC.
pick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think most teams consider that to be the best hero in the game right now, which is, yeah. I mean, I thought the nerfs would hit him a little bit harder, but I think we were doing math on it, and you know, at the point where you're actually roaming in the first night, you actually still have 2 nukes, and you're able to fly over something with the mana that he has. So it's actually not that big of a deal.
TNC going to take their time here. They know Planet Odd left the Wisp on the table, but the Furion is on the table for the other
Nyx,
side.
yeah.
They're going to start off with a little bit more stable first pick, the SEA staple. In
I
the
imagine
Nyx
Planet
assassin.
Odd picks up the Sand King. and
There's the
Furion.
Yeah.
Furion right away. And
Oh,
if,
boy.
yeah, do you pick the Sand King with it?
Into Nyx.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's perfectly fine to pick the Sand King.
There you go.
I mean, the only thing is that kind of, well, actually, I was going to say that reveals that Furion is your offlaner. Remember, we talked about the resolution Furion that they could pull
that
out.
mix up. Now,
So-
does TNC dip back for the Wisp?
TNC had to
okay.
know this was
This,
coming,
this
right?
is their final game, though. You know, this is the final game of the series.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I want to see a safer, kind of non-experimental Furion kind of play.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting though. I feel like that can cut in both directions. When both of these teams have really been very flexible with the draft. Planet Odd, a lot more different heroes, but TNC swapping up the roles,
Yeah.
mixing things up at various phases.
Yep.
I feel like if you shut it down in that last game, if you go super safe, it can play into the hands of the opponent.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And playing into some pretty good heroes. I mean, yeah, I mean you could possibly feed those heroes pretty
Yeah,
easily.
Nyx Assassin's surprisingly good against Nature's Prophet. You can always find them. When you play Nature's Prophet, you usually get into a pattern, right? You go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
certain camps, you push certain lanes at certain timings when they get to certain places, and you can predict this and play off it.
Yeah, for sure. And if you disrupt that pattern, the Furion can just totally I don't want to say tilt because nobody's going to tilt in a game like this, but it's more it mentally kind of makes you think that the Nyx is everywhere.
Oh, I'm playing bad.
It makes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
play much safer and much more reserved when it comes to split pushing, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
much more hesitant about hitting these towers, you know. A lot of times we'll just see Furion just summon trees and run them down a lane when they're scared, right? They won't
Yeah.
actually use their
Yeah.
hero to get the lane out.
You can
One
see
thing
how
I-
much respect TNC giving for that laning matchup, banning out the Skywrath Mage
Yeah.
third to protect that Queen of Pain.
But this was their combo, right? They had the Sand King when they picked
Oh
the
yeah,
Sky.
absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I'm gonna say though, like if you're playing it with this Nature's Prophet, do you need more wave clear? Like, is it because TNC struggled with that in the last game? They had this Spirit Breaker in their
Oh,
bottom lane.
against it, you mean?
Yeah, against
Yeah.
it.
Well, that was sort of the theory behind. You had Sven and Lena
Yeah.
for wave clear in that game.
I think it's
I mean,
not.
on your supports.
Yeah, I think it's not just about wave clear. I think it's about low committal wave clear. Like having a hero that's not a huge core going back, they can actually
Yeah,
do.
I like
exactly.
that
So
phrase.
having like a Winter Wyvern or something like that, Furion is not a big deal at all when it comes to that split pushing.
His trees could nearly kill him, actually.
Yeah, they actually could. There's so many of them now.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
think of it like that, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, so that is definitely a thing. I mean, people used to run support Lena against the Furion, kill him a bunch in lane, and then you push out the
AA
waves.
Spirit Breaker in the last game wasn't doing anything.
No,
else.
those are definitely not good at clearing waves. It needs to be like casually clearing waves, like he can't hit the racks sort of thing. So Skywrath ban, obviously it's really good with the Sand King and with the Nature's Prophet, because Nature's Prophet can just TP into the mid lane and kill whoever the sky goes on. So
That's a crazy ban to me. That Witch Doctor that statistically the last couple patches has been very weak. Planet Odd showing some respect to TNC.
He's very good against Nature's Prophet because his stun makes
Yeah.
the trees do nothing.
exactly, it's actually the biggest support laning counter to Nature's Prophet, I think, because you literally stun the trees for 5 seconds with each cast.
And they give a
bounce.
lot of experience and gold.
Yeah.
So that would kind
Yeah.
of snowball the
It's
Witch
all
Doctor
about
almost.
it's also about the synergy with the Nyx support, if it is support, right? There's not a whole lot of 5 position heroes you can pick with that
Sure.
Nyx support to actually make it good in lane.
Oh yeah, you need a strong support for sure.
Like the next go-to is like Rubik, right? But Rubik is a very low damage support hero, especially early on in the game, and you need strong lanes against heroes like Furion, or else you can completely crumble in that part of the game.
I wonder if we're gonna see the Sven come out again.
Again, I'm almost with you guys.
There's
The
ban.
Sven's gonna be
Never
banned
mind,
by
okay.
TNC, and I'm almost thankful for that. Drow still on the table for both sides. A
Yeah.
lot of Raven heroes still in the pool.
God,
We
Drow-
haven't seen the Lycan
Drow, yeah.
recently.
Oh,
I wonder.
Lycan Furion's a godly combo.
Yep.
That is such
Well,
a
if
good
you're
one.
talking about for the combo for Planet Odd, that would be.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that is a classic combo.
so TNC though it runs of these two teams is a little more likely to pick the Lycan. The other hero that we haven't seen of Ravens is the Weaver. Very, very good. We saw how well with the Quap and the AM in the last
Yeah.
game last night. The TNC were able to abuse that mobility. I still, depending on what odd goes here, the Weaver could be very strong.
Actually, Weaver is one of those few heroes that can completely dumpster a Furion in a 1v1.
Yep.
Because he pretty much, you go on him, he pretty much has to TP away 100% of the time.
Generally, the strengths of Furion are you zone with the treants, and then you right-click with your insane base damage. And
Yeah,
Weaver just
yeah.
negates all of that.
He
by
does, throws
by
bugs.
getting right into you.
Yep,
with
throws
the
bugs on you, and then you actually can't trade with him.
Yeah.
I think you can go into the lane with like a Sentry Ward, but I don't know. It gets really complicated when supports rotate and things like this. And do you really want to send a Furion with an off-lane Sentry? I mean, it's kind of, oh wow,
Okay,
There we go.
we in, boys. Yeah,
wow. Baseskip would be so happy right now.
and I'm sure he is. Yeah. No, the Pugna pick, this is a hero that has been buffed and buffed. Now the ultimate gives vision and the same break range as it had before, so much harder to get away from this hero when he has that life drain on you.
I mean, my only concern is you're picking the highest int gain hero of the game against Nyx.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how easy it is to carapace a Pugna Blast? It's
What-
like
what-
the easiest thing in the game.
What is his int gain? It's
Well,
like 4.2?
I don't know.
it's like, I
4.0.
think that's about right,
4.0.
4.0.
Yeah,
But
it's insane.
the thing is, right, the Pugna can still be a support. You have all the disable coming out from the Sand King, and like a lot of the NA teams had been running Leshrac support as just free tower push.
But even then, that's still asking to feed. I mean,
That's free money.
We've
Okay.
we've seen in these
Blocking dollars.
we've seen in these games.
Literally green.
Yeah, he has green. Yeah, exactly. We've seen in these games where you have these supports who it's like, yeah, they're 5-roll, they can feed, but then you end up having somebody on the enemy team become a core essentially because the one support is feeding them so badly.
That I did
Witcher
not see
Wyvern
coming.
coming out against Pugna. This is interesting. I mean, that is one hero that does deal very well with the Furion.
It's
That
a counter push, right?
yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. That is something that was lacked last game. They had to waste a lot of people.
Isn't it odd to see it so early against no real
Yes.
physical damage?
That's exactly
That's-
what I was thinking.
Pugna's very good against it too, actually.
Yeah.
Typically, when you see the Winter Wyvern coming out, it's against something like a Sven or a Meepo, a Troll on the opposite, even a Drow on the opposite side.
There's some like next level anticipation and stuff like that going on in this draft. I'm sure. I mean, it's an elimination for like pretty
Now-
much TI invite.
Again, I do want to say that the Drow's still available for both
I
sides.
remember when there was a big pushing meta. People were picking Winter Wyvern literally just for the W ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
the
Splinter
best.
is real. Yeah.
Splinter Blast is
Yeah.
amazing. He could just stand outside the base and counter push. Like this looks like a pushing draft to me. I would be afraid of the push. You have
Yeah.
the
So-
treants to tank, and then you have the Pugna and follow up. Like,
If
who
you
knows?
had to guess, you feel in core Pugna. DK was just about to build up to that. Took too long.
Oh my
This is
God.
going to be the Wii DK. Do you think this is a one-position Pugna 2 DK3 profit?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
this is all in push. Is
for,
what we're
for,
seeing right
for the
here.
other support,
looking like
maybe like a Rasta, although that's pretty greedy. I'm just trying to think of push heroes.
It's
Uh,
greedy, but Ross is actually a really good laner now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
With the long disable.
So that would definitely secure the lane. They have a big beefy guy to stand in the front. That's pretty good.
Dude, TNC could answer with like insane team for right. They could pick, like, I don't know, maybe an Ember Spirit and put the co-op somewhere else.
Yeah, the question though is whenever you do that, you pick team fight into push. The question is always, is your team fight combo going to come online in time?
Yep.
They could Underlord. I feel like Underlord would be pretty good against this lineup.
If they pick Underlord right now, you just win the panel. By the way.
Oh,
Okay.
that's too
Juggernaut. So that's going to be the solution for Raven.
Juggernaut into Pugna,
Yeah, but again, it's more about tempo than
into
the specific hero.
treants, into DK armor.
I mean, it sounds bad against all that, but when the push does come, and
You want to be ready?
Yeah,
Well-
you got to have something that's guaranteed to be online.
right, and Jug is a hero that can just stand in the front of all of that stuff, right? And you can't. It's really hard to walk into him when you have all these spells being thrown out to outspam the wave because he can just stand his ground in front of the tower, and Sand King isn't going to be able to just dive into him like that.
But I'm not. I'm thinking Planet Odd's draft is nearly better late game too.
It does look like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
for right now, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
That's
actually
the
is.
issue I'm running into. Okay, stop our push. We don't care. We'll farm.
Although I am a little concerned about the the Nyx into Pugna.
That's I can't get my brain off that. guys.
Although if this is a farming Pugna, he will have BKB, he will have Octarine Core, he will have these ridiculous items
Yeah.
But
that will
is
make
he
him actually
really-
very tanky.
Is he really going to get that kind of goal? Because of you're looking at a very fast tempo lineup. They're going to have to be fighting before Pugna has all those items.
Did he just go Chen?
Yeah, but it depends if the Nyx is an offlane or a support. So
Fair enough.
Clockwork. Okay.
Clockwork.
So
All right.
we still don't know.
It's difficult, I think, to play Clockwork into the 5-man. You can slow them
It's-
down
No,
early game.
I
I
actually
think it's a really good pick.
Yeah,
actually.
I like the Clockwork
Okay.
a lot against this because he guarantees you that vision. He's going to be able to get in on the Furion of the Pugna in the back line, disrupt some of the movement of the Sand King potentially.
Okay. You're selling me. You're selling me.
When he goes in, there's no way to assist the target that it's cogged right now, and they have so much magic damage that they can just throw into the cogs.
Although Furion can take somebody out of cogs
You can just
100% of the time. You just press the sprout
And
onto.
the Omni Knight.
Omni-Knight.
Wow.
There's your solution for the save potentially.
Yeah,
potentially save somebody in the
Yeah,
cogs.
they don't need to worry. I mean, they don't need
They
to
can
worry
re-
about the Pugna being such a or the Pugna
Alright.
Nyx problem
Yeah,
because
just-
they have the Omni
They
Knight.
just shield them, right? They go high ground.
I think that's what they're aiming for
Guys,
the whole time.
I think this is probably for me the most interesting draft of the tournament.
Yep.
One game here with potentially a TI7 berth on the line. One question: who do you like?
Me first,
Yeah,
huh?
let's start with- it's always you.
I'll go first.
You're the
No,
AK
I'll go
player,
first.
dude. You go.
I like odds lineup. I
Alright.
think Omni Knight makes their team fight go through the roof, and once they start going, they're not going to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I think in this last game, they had a plan and it worked. In this game, it seems like they 100% had a plan. I think it'll work again.
I hate to be that guy that's just agreeing, but I do think that Odd has a higher tempo lineup, and I don't think we're going to come to the point where the Nyx is a problem, and I do think that would be the big problem.
I'm not going to make it a clean sweep. I think we've seen TNC in this situation all tournament. They've bounced back extremely well. They've shown great mental fortitude. I like TNC to come back here. But
Nice.
we are going to find out here in a minute. One more game for a trip to tomorrow's best of 5 grand finals. One more time we take it out to your casters. Here are Suns fan and Base Kip.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Sunsman. Here with Base Kip, we have TNC versus Planet Odd, 1437 versus Misery. Who will win,
It's an
Base
emerging
Kip?
rivalry, Shannon.
Yes.
It's an emerging rivalry.
Apparently
here.
a very old rivalry that we didn't know about until now, but who knows?
Well.
Who knows? Whose lineup do you prefer in this game, my friend?
Oh, it's tough. I do like what Planet Odd have here. I think the Sand King plus the Omni Knight as a dual lane is so annoying to deal with. TNC probably going to have to invest a lot of heroes down towards that bottom lane just to have any hope of pushing them out. But that's not to mention the fact that there is a Nature's Prophet in this game as well who could be TPing down to further disrupt the lane and turn it into a full-on try-v-try. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Planet Odd overall here. Though TNC, like Nahaz was saying, has been playing very, very well so far this tournament.
Yeah, and the Winter Wyvern, 2 games in a row, each
Yeah.
respective team taking him. I could never have imagined such
Yeah.
a scenario, honestly.
I think picked for very different reasons
Yeah,
in these
that's
two
definitely
games.
true.
In the first game, very much about the control and countering the Sven. And in this game, I think it's very much about the deep push. Planet Odd put their cards on the table really early in terms of the draft, and TNC just decided, all right, we need some deep push. We need to be able to spam and hold on to this game. But as the panel hinted at, I feel like Planet Odd's lineup doesn't even necessarily slack that much when it comes to the late game. So if their push gets slowed down, I feel like they're still going to be reasonably happy with the situation.
They actually take TNC takes 3 of the bounty runes.
Yeah.
Clockwork just casually strolled and picked up the top rune. I'm not sure how that happened, but
Planet Odd deciding that they wanted to rotate their lanes.
I
so
see.
I think
Okay.
Resolution was thinking about starting over on the top side of the map, but in the end they decide that they want the Omni Knight up there instead, and the Nature's Prophet is actually going to be heading down into this lane with Misery. So
yep.
not
And of
the-
course, we did talk about a lot of the flex picks, as we're calling them now.
Yep, the
We have, of course,
mix-ups.
on the Dragon Knight, but as we're going to see him mid, take a bunch of damage from the Arctic Burn of 1437. That's a very good spell against somebody, a hero like Dragon Knight. But Resolution's Nature's Prophet, we talked so much about Moon Meander, and I know not a lot of people have seen. I've seen a ton of scrims with this guy in Nature's Prophet. It's pretty disgusting. A lot of times you even see him mid. Back in the day when he played for Empire, a mid Nature's Prophet wasn't super unheard of either.
Yeah, I think Resolution is going to be really effective on this hero, and the
And you've seen Moon Meander's Omni Knight, of course. It's pretty
Yeah.
dirty as well.
yeah, Moon is definitely a pretty solid Omni Knight player. And I mean, the Furion's been buffed so much. That's why everybody's been talking about it this patch.
Right.
The Treant damage going up. I feel like the Nature's Prophet is actually going to be even more annoying for this TNC safe lane to deal with than perhaps the Omni Knight would have been. So maybe a good call from Odd to make this rotation.
Yeah, for sure. Mid lane, Weehaw trading last hits. Trading right clicks, I should say, but Raven's going to pop the Blade Fury, and Weehaw's in a ton of trouble. First blood going the way of Raven, and I've seen this from Weehaw before.
Yeah, well, we've seen Dragon Knight crushing the 1v1 matchups so far this event and doing very, very nicely. So the answer from TNC is, screw it. We're going to make mid lane a dual lane.
I mean,
Why not?
It's a really dirty one, too, though. Kuka,
Yeah.
in the meantime, bot lane gets sprouted up. It's going to tango out just fine. Top lane, in the meantime, Clockwork is right-clicked down by the combination of Omni Knight and Pugna, with the one level of degen aura being pretty dirty overall. Did the Chinese guys catch that? I don't think so. Queen of Pain died, too.
No, Queen of Pain going down at bottom. So lots of action in these lanes.
We have 3 cameras in
None of us saw it.
It happens, guys.
Yeah. Looks like we got a quick pause.
Yeah, they want to make sure that we catch this next one.
Yeah. So the other nice thing I think about having the Omni Knight go towards the safe lane this game for Planet Odd is it's going to secure his farm, and he's really the heart of the push for his team here. He's bringing all the sustain. They really do want a high level in Repel to be able to protect their Nature's Prophet, protect the Pugna. The DK or the Nature's Prophet not having to buy a BKB this game, I think, is actually going to turn out to be very, very powerful for them.
And Weehaw getting punished in the mid lane right now. Very low. Has to force out yet another salve. Has the bottle now, so we'll be able to pick up some runes and regen a bit.
He's getting pressured, but he's still getting really good CS, and I think that's the thing about the Dragon Knight when people talk about him as a stable mid-hero. Even matchups where he's not doing all that amazingly, he can always spam the Breathe Fire. He's always got the sustain from the Dragon's Blood. Though the one problem that he might run into this game is that Raven has no intention of leaving the mid lane, so it's not going to be very easy for him to take the tier 1 tower with his Dragon form. Might have to go and rotate to a different lane to accomplish that.
You hear that, Goose?
Yeah, that's Nature's
Is that
Prophet's taunt.
Oh, that's Nature's Prophet, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's not really a resolution thing to do. That's more a Weehaw. We sure they're not playing on each other's accounts?
I mean, this is we talked about it. It's a brewing rivalry. Maybe it's not just
if only
not
Sand
just the
King,
captains.
If only Sand King had a taunt, he'd be spamming that left, right, and center.
I'm sure he would be. All right. So Misery just working towards some tranquils at the moment. No big shocks there. The Jug, as the panel hinted at a little bit this game, the Omni Slash might be a little bit difficult to use, but in terms of the pacing of the game, I feel like it matches up reasonably well, and Raven does seem to be getting off to a good start. TNC actually putting Raven in the mid lane in 2 out of 3 of the games in this series, so a little bit of a mix-up from them there.
And Resolution still in this, we'll call it an off lane for now, but of course he is the one position Nature's Prophet. What do you think about Pugna's support? I feel like Pugna as a support has just felt so underwhelming because it's such a level-dependent hero.
I think it's just giving them the opportunity to really take towers early. That's most of what they're picking it for here. Misery putting some pressure on. He's got this Arcane Rune, however, so...
Yeah, he will get a double Burrow Strike. Was getting double teamed for a while there, and that'll allow him to get away safely. He is level 3 at the moment, going for those Tranquils, I believe.
Yeah, he pops a ward down, and he sees Tim's actually switching over to head down towards the bottom lane. So Resolution with that a little bit of extra information. He'll play dumb for a second, but now he's just going to run back out of the lane.
Oh, 1437. Oh, the missed Burrow Strike for Misery. That would have resulted in a kill for sure. And he might be kicking himself right now.
Where's my chat wheel audio, Shannon? Where is it?
Seriously, man.
Are their compendium levels high enough? Somebody get this man some compendium levels.
I think I can check, can't I? Let me see. Hold on. I'll check for you.
All right, nice.
All right, I'll do some reconnaissance here.
Okay, so in the meantime, a little bit of...
I don't think it shows in the Perfect World servers, so...
Oh, no.
Don't see anything. As Raven's going to get initiated on by Resolution. Nice Sprout blocking him out, and the right clicks will suffice indeed. Or in fact, it's going to be the Breathe Fire getting Weehaw the kill.
Yeah, so, I mean, Wee coming back into this lane pretty nicely off of that kill. He's almost got his level 6. They're going to go and hit this shrine real fast just to generate a little bit of mana. Clockwork not going to get hit by the Omni Knight Purification there, so it looks like SamH going to be all right, but it's a level 5 Omni Knight, a level 4 Pugna, and only a level 3 Clockwork. He has been driven out of this lane really heavily every single time he's tried to come up here.
And Misery is smoked up at the moment at the top rune area. Might want to pick up that rune at some point, but first they're going to get the casual Clockwork kill with the Purification as well as the Nether Blast. Should be a relatively easy kill. Cog's just going to, well, they're not going to do a whole lot. In fact, they're going to take the The
So looking
boundary
for
rune as
Weeha
well,
at mid
but
here. They're going
Weeha-
to land the stun. Nicely played by Tims.
He should be able to. Well, he's going to regen a bit thanks to the level 2 Dragon Blood. We have a TP from Misery. And
These sprouts from
1437 is going to
Resolution.
cold embrace himself. Weeha, in the meantime, should be able to clean up the Winter Wyvern without an issue. Tim's, in the meantime, absolutely no mana. The Cosmic Finale is coming into play as well. And this is the beauty of Nature's Prophet, just anywhere. You can be anywhere in the map at any time, especially level 25, basically. I don't know if you know this. Has a 0 cooldown.
What did you say, Shen?
Zero.
Zero.
It was
It's
picked
weird.
up. It was picked up yesterday, and he literally did not use that feature one time.
I've seen people skill it and then still walk places.
It's unacceptable.
It's
unacceptable.
very confusing.
I don't care if it's 200 units away. You TP for God's sake. All right? Jesus.
It's
They're gonna
not-
use
yeah.
another 4-man shrine.
It's not about the efficiency. It's about sending a message. I can be anywhere.
I completely agree, Basket.
Yeah. Anyway, so Cuckoo just kind of farming the safe lane a little bit at the moment. He's got the level 6, so probably keen to make some kind of a Sonic Wave rotation. But like we've been talking about, this Nature's Prophet, he can be all over the map. They need to be careful about blinking in too aggressively onto anything. And Moon going to find him in the trees here. Misery waiting.
Oh, Burrow Strike will connect. Blink is not up for another 10 seconds. In an attempt to TP out, this actually might be successful, and indeed it is. Very smart play, heads-up play from Cuckoo. But this is just going to transition to a Tier 1 push bot.
Yep, they've already got the 3 points up in the Nature's Call, so able to keep the push going. Meanwhile, the spam continues at mid, defending against the Tier 1 push. So it's actually, surprisingly, Weeha who's ending up defending his tower, whereas I think normally in this lane you would expect it to be the Juggernaut trying to keep the Dragon Knight away from the Tier 1.
Right.
Little
And
bit
the Tier
of
1
role
bottom
reversal.
will be taken out by Resolution, all likely. Although we will have a TP here from 1437. Won't be in time, though.
Yeah.
I like the build from, I mean, this is kind of cookie cutter from Resolution, especially the drums, or phase boost into drums, and a lot of times he will go something like an Orchid.
All right, 147
So we'll see
wants to
what
go
Rex
for this
ends up
kill. Can he get the Splinter Blast? He can, but not enough damage, and Resolution's going to be A-okay. And knowing that there are two heroes bottom, we'll see if Planet Odd can set something up elsewhere on the map, though they are a bit spread out right now. And yeah, going back to the comment about the Nature's Prophet build, I feel like this is super standard, very strong. The little bit of extra mana regen on the drum is fantastic for Prophet. The phase boots giving him the extra damage. And the drum charge is also really useful for pushing towers.
Oh, mid lane, Weeha was getting initiated on, but now it might be turning around as Misery gets a Burrow Strike onto Raven.
It's got the regen.
Omni Slash is up, but oh my god. That was Decrepify into Wrath of Nature, just decimating the Juggernaut.
Yeah. I think Saxa was playing for the Breathe Fire finish there, but yeah, the Wrath of Nature coming in at just the right time. And Planet Odd, they hadn't done any damage to this Tier 1 tower before this DK Ultimate was popped, but this is going to be going down insanely quickly, and TNC maybe no time to respond. No hook on the Clockwork either.
Yeah, it's not looking good for this tower. It does go down. There's the stun onto Clockwork. Battery Assault doing work against Weeha along with the Blade Fury, but there's a Repel to take away all the magic. There's a Sonic Wave on 2, and that is going to be 2 deaths as a result. Cuckoo in the meantime pursuing Saxa, who's just going to Decrepify TP. Pretty frustrating to see the little support get away, but they do get 2 kills.
All right, I feel like I should never question TNC in terms of, oh, can they make it here to take this fight in time?
Always.
The answer is always yes. So, all right, they get those 2 kills. Very nice first usage of the ultimate from the Queen of Pain. I think very important for Cuckoo this game to continue that momentum for him, since he is a little bit low on the net worth chart right now. A big part of that being that they've lost all 3 of their Tier 1 towers. So a significant portion of this net worth lead that we see right now is just coming from that. And I think if you factor that out, TNC actually doing all right. There's always that discussion about once the game turns, they'll get those Tier 1s eventually. So it's gold that they'll be getting further down the line.
Yeah, 1437, still level 5. Could pick up the Tome right now if he wants, and does so, and is now level 6 as a result. That's a huge deal. Juggernaut, Blade fearing away. Weeha does not have Dragon Form, so can't find the range on the Dragon's Tail. As Raven finishes up, has Phase Boots and Ring of Aquila. You like Aquila or Aquila?
I say Aquila.
You say Aquila? That's fine. That's like tequila. I'm fine with that.
But Planet Odd, I mean, looking at, not necessarily lost at this point, but pushing the Tier 2s is nowhere near as easy as pushing the Tier 1s. So they got to farm up a little bit, try and grab a couple of items. Resolution settling in for a longer game. Maybe he has his eyes on that level 25 talent. He's going to be going for the Midas here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't think it's a bad item at all on Nature's Prophet and Odd. They don't have their mech or any other big timing just yet, but they are going to be going for a 4-man smoke. The other thing that we kind of saw in that mid-engagement or that mid pressure from Raven is part of the reason why I think Jug is a good hero this game. It's very difficult for Planet Odd to actually punish Jug split pushing. He can pretty much always just spin TP out. There's nothing to cancel that.
Yeah, for sure. Misery, is he going to be able to get the Burrow Strike? Absolutely not. No Blink Dagger in sight for him for another 800 or so gold. Cuckoo will TP out, and the smoke ends up being wasted. Yeah, Tim's is going to TP out as well. So they do defend, but kind of a waste of smoke in the end. So Weehaw right now working towards an armlet. He'll be going Blink. I guarantee you that it's Misery telling him exactly what items to get. Because he likes to go weird items sometimes.
Yeah, I think maybe you could make some kind of a case for this being a Shadow Blade game as well, but they definitely need this to be more of the initiating Dragon Knight as opposed to the just pure damage and tanking in the middle of the team fight DK. And that's one of the nice things about this hero is that he has that versatility. If you need to just right-click, you can get an Armlet, you can get a BKB, you can get a Maelstrom, AC, but you can also be the initiator for the team, especially with a Repel layered on top of him. It's going to make him nigh on impossible to kill.
An itemization that I was thinking about bringing up because I thought it would be really good against the push is an Aghanim Scepter on Quap.
Yeah, Quap
He's
Aghanim Scepter.
actually rushing it. I was not expecting that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something that used to be a little bit more popular in the past, back when Quap was considered more of an early game hero and didn't really scale into the later stages. But like you're saying, it brings the cooldown of Sonic Wave down significantly, and that means that you can use it to spam D-push and give space for the Jug to continue pushing the other waves.
Yeah. Well, Sam H scouting things out here. Weehaw getting healed and repelled.
Nice Cogs.
Cogs onto 2. Will they be able to set something up? 1437 does have his ultimate, but not enough mana to use it. And Weehaw's just going to walk away. But here comes Cuckoo. He's pretty balls deep, I have to admit. He gets Burrow struck, and there's the Dragon Tail as a result. Breathe fire in their faces. And TNC really wants to get aggressive, but just can't find an opening. And
Soxa from behind with the solo kill.
Soxa
tries for the TP out, not going to be successful.
And he tanks the Winter's Curse.
Yeah.
I think they'll take that any day of the week. It's a 1-for-1, but that is an off lane for your 5-position Pugna.
Yeah, and Resolution finishes his Midas in the meantime. He's just been farming up on this bottom side of the map, pressuring the bottom tier 2 the entire time, and just clearing out the Radiant jungle. So his game is looking pretty good. The DK ultimate not going to be used quite the way that Odd might have liked it, since they do get driven away from that tier 2 over at top, but you know, still continuing to put the pressure on.
Even those deaths, they might be worth it for TNC if they keep their
Maybe.
towers, right?
I think that conversation comes down to whether or not you favor TNC in the late game, and I'm not 100% sure that I do, or at least it's not clean cut. It's going to depend on item decisions. It's going to depend on you know, what kind of farm these heroes get.
It's going to depend on Winter's Curse.
A lot of that, yes, as well.
Pretty big
if they curse the Prophet and the DK kills him or something like that, or even they curse the Omni Knight and then the 2 cores kill him off, that would be absolutely huge.
I mean, Wyvern is one of those heroes that I wouldn't say he's super item dependent, but it's kind of like Phoenix in a lot of ways. When you get those like ridiculous luxury items, the hero is actually
you can win the game by yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You just refresh your orb and have a blink dagger, you're good to go. That is like
for sure.
One game essentially if you can cast it correctly. Bottom lane, Stocks on
I see a call down.
Yeah, they've gone on the Nature's Prophet. Nice Storm Hammer. He's getting auto-attacked a little bit. Goes for the Sprout TP out. Moon, can they get a bash? No,
by the
won't be
time
able
she
to.
finishes this, the tier 2 tower should be
Weehaw
pretty much dead. Versus Cuckoo.
Yeah.
We're just gonna,
I
we don't think they're going to go high ground.
I think a big reason why we don't see this build so much anymore is that Queen of Pain, you know, with this build not getting any mana regen whatsoever, at least with the Yule Scepter build-up, you know, it's become very common on the hero, and it means that you can actually use your Scream to farm a little bit. And with how popular Quap plus Crystal Maiden has become and whatnot.
Oh, Clockwork misses the hook shot initiation. It's going to end up on Treants and has very little mana to speak of at this moment. And Cuckoo, well, they're still doing a good job of defending this tower. The tower is at half health. Weehaw going to come in for another right click, getting that DOT. Fortification, though. It's going to prevent a little bit more damage coming through.
And Weehaw not even opting to pick up the armlet, actually just rushing straight into the Blink Dagger here. He does have it up already.
All right.
No sentry down from Odd, as Tim's does have his level 6 finally. TNC sort of having to put out fires a lot, so haven't really found many opportunities to jungle and give the lanes to their supports.
I mean, that's 2 dragon forms. Wasted. Well, I wouldn't say wasted, but
successfully defended,
right.
I think.
Better way to put it. Put a little optimistic twist there. I like that.
Raven was trying to get some damage on this top tier 2, but actually got a big fat 0. Odd managing to keep that pushed out, so no real split push pressure coming in.
And keep in mind that Misery still doesn't even have the blink dagger. He'll be getting it very soon. That's going to change the complexion of this game quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And Planet Odd, I think their lineup this game a decent amount better than some of their previous Roshan lineups. Looking all right to maybe secure that here once they make a few more inroads onto the map.
Yeah, Tim's top lane is vendetted up.
Yeah, Quap making her
He
way
needs a
over.
little bit of support. And yeah, Cuckoo
Scouted,
is
however,
just
by
that.
Misery, I think.
Right. Well, he's going to miss the impale, and as a result, Resolution will live.
Yeah, I mean, as soon
But
as they
mid
scouted
lane.
the Quap Resolution moving
Kind of
in
the same scenario, but this time it's a Moon that's in Viz, and that is a dead Wyvern. Resolution everywhere.
And Moon also kind of ditching the mech idea and ditching this 5-man pushing strategy and also just going for a Midas. So it feels like, to me, Planet Odd have decided that they're actually way more confident about the late game here and their ability to deal with the Queen of Pain and the Juggernaut. And I think they're kind of onto something. The Clockwork's definitely going to fall off as the game goes on. He's already not had the most impressive game. And I feel like this is a little bit unusual for TNC because normally we see these last picks from them be so impactful. It's normally the Tim's hero. He normally absolutely goes off, but this time around they put Sam H on the Clockwork, and it seems like it just hasn't really been able to find those initiations and the pickoffs that TNC might have been hoping for it to find.
God, Misery top lane. He needed like 5 gold for this freaking Blink deck. He finally will be able to purchase it. If he had it, he would be able to get the kill pretty easily.
Yeah, Courier's in use, so he's going to be walking all the way back to the fountain to grab that one.
But yeah, TNC down just, I mean, it's not a whole lot. It's like a 3K net worth lead for Planet Odd, and they've been pushing the towers, so not too bad for TNC, all things considered.
Yep, Quap only 1K gold away from picking up the Aghanim Scepter, so
All right.
that's going to be a nice little pickup there. Can use the ultimate way more liberally, just use it on a clump of treants perhaps, continue to pick up the farm that way. Resolution going to get
Resolution.
jumped.
They might try for it. He might go for an Impale first, actually. He's going to miss, though. Tim's not what you want to see. He's going to attempt to TP out within the Sprout. Will be successful.
Bottom side, however, Sam H
Oh,
going to get
yeah.
caught. Burrow struck up,
That's rough.
and life gets drained out by Saksa.
And that's the power of Pugna. And 2 other heroes.
Misery
Same
TP straight in, activates the Shrine.
And there's a Dragon Tail onto Wyvern. A lot of burst damage coming out from Dragon Knight, and will result in another death, this time for 1437. And Resolution working towards, actually he just finishes his Maelstrom. So going for a little bit more right click.
This has been, I mean, these last 2 Vendetta ganks from Tim's have been somewhat uncharacteristic misses. I feel like his movement and his play so far in this entire lower bracket from TNC has been so impressive, but Resolution able to sidestep those stuns both times.
And we, as we talked about, has the Blink Dagger, finished the armlet finally, and has his sights set on a BK Bizzle, actually. So that'll be quite nice for him. And then that's when things kind of open up a lot for Dragon Knight's fight as far as itemization. Do you have anything that is would be in your quick buy for this game?
I think this is a pretty good game to maybe work towards the AC. Depending on how they want to play this, maybe he even goes back all the way for a Shadow Blade just to continue hunting and trying to find the Queen of Pain and the Jug while they're split pushing, because as discussed, TNC, well, Planet Odd, sorry, don't really have any way to deal with the Jug split push right now. He can kind of always spin TP out. They do have the Sand King stun potentially now to set things up, but I feel like to a certain extent Raven can kind of play around that, just trying to spot the Sand King on the map. So I think the Shadow Blade could also be all right.
Yep, Nether Ward placed to set up for this eventual fight. A couple Nether Blasts taking the tower quite low, but TNC wants to defend. And they will do so for now, as the Nether Ward is about to expire.
Yeah, Raven has queued up a Blink as his next item. I feel like whatever he goes for after that, more than likely the Diffusal, just because he doesn't want to have to play against the defensive Decrepify coming out from Saksa. But he might even think about something like a Maelstrom just to help him push through these waves a little bit faster. It's also pretty good against the Dragon Knight, assuming that he's not repelled, which I don't know if that's a fair assumption. But yeah, I think that the Diffy probably good, but the Blink to me says that he definitely wants to play the split push game here.
And top lane, Nature's Prophet able to TP out in time as Juggernaut and Nyx were both pursuing him. As we have kind of a chase. It's more like a cat and mouse game, it feels like a lot when you're playing against Nature's Prophet versus Nyx.
I think one other thing to mention about this blink for the Jug is that he needs to, he really wants it to be able to get into the back lines and kill off, say, the Pugna and maybe even the Omni Knight. If they can get a Nyx stun into the Omni Slash, they might actually be able to find a pretty solid kill there. But yeah, it is definitely a game of cat and mouse, and Tim's not being a very successful cat at the moment.
1437. What is, I feel like, I guess he should be going for something like a Glimmer Cape, I suppose. I feel like the big ticket item for him when the hero really starts to take off is the Blink Dagger. Just being able to position yourself, or like we saw last game where you can stay really far back and then initiate in without worry of dying.
I feel like this is also quite a good Force Staff game for him, just to help. It does part of the positioning that the Blink Dagger does, but you can also use it defensively to be able to get your allies out if they're in some trouble. You can use the Cold Embrace and then still move them around, that kind of a thing. Good against the Dragon Tail, good against the Burrow Strike if your teammates are facing the right direction. So there's a couple of different items that 1437 could be considering here, and I'm not actually 100% sure which one's right.
Dragon Knight runs into the Nyx Assassin. Tims gets stunned and is just going to TP out, but the burst damage is way too much to handle.
He's a really low level. He's only level 9. He's only got 2 points in the Spiked Carapace, so the stun duration not really long enough.
We've seen almost no impact from both Nyx and Clockwork this game, which is really hampering TNC's gameplay right now. As Wyvern takes a little bit of damage from Dragon Knight, but...
All right, saving grace here going to be the Arcane Rune on the Queen of Pain. I think synergizing up with the...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, synergizing up with the ulti.
That is juicy. That is what we call juicy in the biz, base skip, in case you were wondering.
It's good to know, Shannon.
What do we have? 28-second cooldown on Sonic Wave. That's nice.
Yeah, pretty sick.
No,
Cast it for every single creep
juicy.
wave. Pretty juicy,
Thank
Shannon.
you.
Cast it on every single creep wave for the
I'm going to take credit for
duration.
something that a lot of casters use now, is the word disgusting. I remember this vividly. TI3, I was saying it all the time. Everybody's saying it now.
Yeah.
Give me credit, base skip. Nobody has. Say it. Say it.
you invented disgusting.
Thank you. That's true on so many levels. That is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to be who you are. You can't be somebody else.
You got to
Just
embrace
remember
it,
that, man.
Really, yeah. I'll
Embrace
keep that in
your
mind.
lifestyle. Tim's in the meantime, so he will be going for a Hannah Mias. It's going to be an extremely late one. But if this goes late, Nyx Assassin getting a lot of levels. He can scale decently well. Obviously, the Mana Bird's going to be great against Pugna the entire game. Nether Ward, sorry, not Nether Ward, but Aghanim Scepter eventually. How much of an impact do you think that could potentially have in this game? I mean, it's not like one of those, you have a Pudge that can pull you out while you're burrowed. No ridiculously hard counters, I want to say. Oh, as we have a Burrow Strike, or Epicenter Burrow Strike combination. And Raven, well, ends up being a lot of damage coming out. There's a nice Sonic Wave onto 2. Blade Fury's going to finish off Misery. In the meantime, Moon is stuck inside the cogs. Does have a Repel and pop the GA, but you have to think eventually, oh, maybe not. I thought he was going to die for sure, but he's just going to walk away for now. There's the Omni Slash being used to full effect. He's getting life drain. No, that's somebody else actually. He used it on Cuckoo by accident. Moon Meander will finally drop to the Cuckoo right click. Zoxa taking a Shadow Strike now. The Glimmer Cape saving him.
Oh, Resolution's en route towards bottom, but Tim's already anticipating this. Can he get the stun this time around?
Yeah,
yes, he
finally.
can.
Is that the first to fail?
I think it is, yes.
He's going to TP out in the midst of danger, but not going to be fast enough for Resolution.
Tim's very prepared, already had the Quelling Blade, chops their way in, and finishes that kill. Pretty smart by Resolution not to use the Mjolnir, because it would have given the Nyx Assassin an opportunity to pop the Spike Carapace and cancel things there, so yeah. I don't even know if he was necessarily thinking about that, but nicely done by Tims, anticipating that. I mean, TNC seem to be so smart about this part of the game. They know how the enemy team is going to think when they go for a move. They send all those heroes top. Tims is sitting there. Well, Resolution is probably thinking that we're all top, so he's going to go push bottom, and I'm going to go one step ahead of that, TP back to the shrine, and be ready to set up that kill. So they get that bonus value and save all the damage on their tier 3 tower.
I mean, despite having all these Midases, Planet Odd is not that far ahead. It's just under 5K right now.
I'm not seeing a greater than 5K, Shannon.
Yeah,
so.
I was wondering. I was like, wait, is there a bug? There's no way they're not up by 5K, but the fact they aren't. Here comes the smoke gank. Burrow Strike applied to Queen of Pain, and Oh, that's dirty. 50 seconds on the deck. Absolutely no buyback. Not that she'll need it. But that means 50 seconds of no farm time. 50 seconds of not spamming that ultimate.
Yeah, well, at least Midas is on cooldown right now. And that's the one thing that we also haven't kind of talked about, really, is that this Queen of Pain went back for a hand of Midas.
Are we going to see the first 10-man Midas?
Uh,
Will it happen, Base Kid?
I mean, Nyx Assassin has one queued up. Witcher Wyvern is going to be going for that force dash.
I'm pretty sure he needs to go Midas on Wyvern.
I mean, it's a good item.
Yes, I like the analysis. Tim's just going to walk in, pops the spike barricades. Here comes Sam H with the initiation hook shot. Has Cogs, but he gets stunned up. Omni Slash doing a lot of damage. Soxa, though, using the Decrepify to his advantage. Blade Fury not able to finish him off. And with that, TNC might be out of gas in this fight. We'll have to wait and see. Winter's Curse was used as well. And 1437 might be the sacrificial hero for TNC. So we have an impale here. Nyx Assassin, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Gets a nice double impale, but again, Sand King and company will be able to finish him off quite easily. And that means, I would assume that means Roshan will be dying in favor of Planet Odd. But you never know with TNC.
Yeah, I mean, Kuka could have maybe done something a little bit crazy and blinked over here and tried to throw the Sonic Wave into the pit and steal the last.
Roshan has fallen! They brought it back.
He's down! He's gone!
Awesome.
I wish we. I
They
wish
took
it
a
showed
couple
who got
games
the
off.
ages. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's
That
a
would
feature
be
they
helpful.
Need to, yeah. They need to add the guy's face in the middle. They have the guys' faces on the stage. You've seen
That's
that, right?
true.
They
That's
step
true.
on their own faces, actually, when they walk out on the stage. It's pretty sick. Now we have a greater than signed 5K lead for Planet Odd.
Yeah. Nice fight for Planet Odd. TNC not really all together for that one. Going for the, I don't know if we can call it the classic TNC at this point, trying to fight with a man down, take advantage, or at least try and find some kind of advantage just through their team fight positioning. But I think Odd did really nicely to all retreat back towards the hill. They clustered around their nether ward. It was difficult for TNC to get in there and deal with it, and kind of ended up winning them the fight. Also, a really nice juke from Soxa. You know, Juggernaut having to give out the pursuit. Pugna, a very speedy hero, so couldn't finish the kill. But they've got the Aegis now on the Nature's Prophet. He gets the snipe on the Courier as well.
That was a plate mail. I believe that was for the Shivas.
Yeah, on the Queen of Pain, looks like it should be.
All right, and the Tier 2 tower looks to be a goner in favor of Planet Odd yet again. Not as fast pushing as we may have anticipated at the start of the game, but right now they are getting the job done. We'll see if TNC can counteract this in any way.
The spam is pretty sick. That creep wave gets completely demolished. I think the Clockwork probably has the... Oh no, he's not even level 15 yet. I was about to talk about the rocket.
Oh, that was a blind hook shot?
No, there's
But
a ward
they have
up here.
vision.
Yeah, no, there's a ward up
That
here.
was, what was that?
I don't know, bit of
Oh,
a
was he
slow
trying to go to
reaction.
the the neutrals maybe? That's still not worth it without an Ags.
No. No,
I'm actually, you know, we're going to count how many freaking... Is there a fight going on? Tell me if there's a fight going on. I'm going to check the items. Trying to find
not just yet. Tim's is scouting a little bit here. But that's about it. No.
Oh, here we go.
They're going to try for the Wyvern on mid, but Winter Wyvern just flies right out of the Sprout. I don't know what Resolution was thinking there, but they're not going to be able to grab that kill. Does get glimmered up by Soxa to help keep him
I'm a little bit
safe.
disappointed. There's only going to be 5 Midases.
This
I
is-
thought for sure there was at least 6, but
I'm
here
sure
comes
this
the
is
Burrow
the most
Strike.
Midases this tournament that
On the
we've had.
clockwork.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Weehaw jumps in, trying to finish off the Wyvern. He'll do just that. And now the Tier 2 tower is what they want to take next.
Oh, that's their big spam hero. And Queen of Pain, TP actually on cooldown for 4 seconds time. So just going to be forced to sit up here and auto-attack down the tower a little bit, but Odd already up onto the high ground. There is a glyph, however.
Yeah, Weehaw getting spammed here. Gets the repel applied to him. He's going to get sprouted just for posterity's sake. And the treants are created, and the drums are popped, and the damage is being done. Fortification by TNC will prevent a little bit of damage here. There's the jump in from Weehaw. He pops BKB. We have a buyback on the Wyvern. Tim's getting destroyed, though. No buyback for him. That's 45 seconds on the deck. 1437. Look for the Winter's Curse. It's not going to do a whole lot as far as damage is concerned. The Epicenter Burst Strike combination. Misery getting his revenge on 1437. That's 2 dead for TNC as the aggression continues for Planet Odd. Weehaw wants to get this mid-racks. Sonic Wave almost taking out Resolution, but not quite enough. And you have to think Weehaw and company will be able to get at least this melee racks.
Yeah. A little bit low on mana, but they still have the BKB and the Aegis on the Nature's Prophet, so...
Misery's so excited he misses a Burrow Strike. Raven in the meantime pops his Manta, trying to apply a little pressure to Weehaw. Raven taking, my God, he almost gets burst down just like that. Sam H on the run will live, and look at the survivability between Pugna and Omni Knight, healing, repelling. life drain. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very, very potent. I mean, the only thing that sends Planet Odd packing is that they just don't really have enough mana left in reserve. They did have the Guardian Greaves coming up on Moon, but they seem to be so in control of this game. They made the call to go for the Midases, feeling like they have the better late game, but as much as the Jug has shown some strength in being able to split push so far, his contribution to these team fights and the full 5-on-5s is starting to look a little bit questionable. We saw Raven run in there to try and defend the lane of Rax, but he just kind of got bursted down and was forced to spin away.
Yeah. It's an uphill battle for TNC. Will their tournament lives come to an end after, I mean, they've been playing so well this tournament. Regardless of the outcome of this game, you have to respect what they've done so far.
Yeah, I think they've done really well, showing a lot of versatility, a lot of different styles, but I think that's something that you can kind of talk about from Planet Odd as well. Weeha, nice BKB.
Yeah, Weeha gets Glimmer caped up. They're going to find Tim's in the trees, just adding insult to injury. Down goes the Nyx Assassin for 50 seconds. Cuckoo sprouted up, and he'll blink out to safety. Finishes the Shiva's guard, by the way. Nice little pickup.
The fact that there are 4 TNC heroes here that see Resolution as he sprouts up Cuckoo, but they just can't do anything about him, I think speaks volumes about the situation that they find themselves in this game.
Resolution and company amalgamating towards the top barracks. Can they push this down? 20 seconds left onto the Nyx Assassin. And here comes the Clockwork Initiation.
Ooh.
Oh my god, it's on 3 heroes. Very nicely done. BKB popped by the Nature's Prophet, but the first to fall will be 1437. That leaves it to a 3v5. Not sure if TNC can hold.
Oh, the sustain is just too good from Odd. Look at this. Great hook shot, but just can't actually finish any of these kills.
And that's going to be, in all likelihood, top Rax. And Winter's Curse was actually used that fight. Or was it? It actually might have been before that. Nyx Assassin now getting initiated on a beautiful Sonic Wave. On to 3 heroes. The GA is popped from the Omni Knight. Nyx Assassin will be the second to die. And Misery getting healed up thanks to the mechanism, but the burst damage is just too much. And Raven attempting to get out, but the Burrow Strike will find him. And that is a full team-wide GG's in favor of Planet Odd. I want to see the handshakes. I want to see the handshakes, Mason.
Yep.
Will we see the handshakes?
Well, I don't know, Shannon.
Will we see behind us? I'm looking at ourselves right now. Can we wait?
They're still in the booth.
They're still in the booth. They're saying congratulations to each other. TNC's like, oh God, we have to go shake their hands. You guys just want to ditch and go in the back. Maybe it's a Chinese tournament. Nobody's even going to notice. We'll have to wait and see, friends. But with that, we will be going to Nahaz in the panel. Great series. That means we had a rematch, Newbie versus Planet Odd. Back to you guys.
And we are back one more time to our panel to close out the evening. Planet Odd are on to tomorrow's best of 5 grand final, where they will face Newbie in a rematch of this morning's winners bracket final, close 3-game series. I'm going to turn to my panel one more time, guys. Same usual suspects here. My cast, we are going to be going to a post-game interview here in just a second on stage. I'll keep my eye open for that. But I want to get my panel's thoughts on the game here. Gentlemen, want to tell a quick story? I don't know if you guys heard this. Blitz, the coach of Planet Odd, and Alyssa, the manager, come on stage a couple minutes after the draft.
I heard this. Yes.
Blitz looked up and goes, "What the hell?" So apparently they had quite a productive powwow backstage after that game too. They'd come up with a game plan. That wasn't it.
Apparently they haven't played 3 of these heroes ever, basically. Never practiced.
Yeah.
I imagine in their power, they're kind of going 1, 2, 3, F Blitz. Don't pick anything he says. It worked.
Yeah.
Hey, that at the end of the day, right? It's the result that matters. And Planet Odd, it was a little scary at times. It looked like they might struggle to end the game on time. There was definitely a little bit of a clock that was ticking. But to me, apart from the Queen of Pain and the Juggernaut, other 3 heroes of TNC never really got in the game.
They weren't even in the game. Like if there was Tim's on his Nyx Assassin. How many times did he miss stuns on Moon Meander? He just juked them with the phase boots every single time. It has to be so frustrating. You know, when you're playing a game and that happens, it gets at you, right?
That's the tilter, you know? When you set up that gank and you miss the Impale. I mean, Impale is not an easy spell to hit on Nyx Assassin anymore. You can't just point and click. It also moves so slowly. I mean, he attacked him and then used the stun. He didn't wait at all, and he just happened to outrun it with phase boots. Like, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Phase drum Furion pretty fast, I guess. Also, something that we were talking about during the panel, they picked Rezo Furion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
the first time since the international last year against eHome and Wings they showed the restaurant. But I think this is fair. We talked about needing to get Wee going. It looked like in the game 2 on that puck that he really got his confidence back, and he did get first blooded in that lane. But then I thought Raven, we talked yesterday, the tendency on his Juggernaut to use the spin offensively. I thought Odd really exploited that in a couple of those early kills on the Jug.
The thing I liked about their draft as well, they had Wee on the front lines, and they basically buffed the crap out of him. He had Repel on, he had the Pugny heal if he needed it, he had Omni Knight backing him up. If anything was, they couldn't initiate. How is Clockwork meant to get in there? He is literally food.
He's actually going into his death
Yeah.
every time, right? He's hooking because he needs to hook for his team to actually do anything, but he knows nothing's going to happen out of it.
Yeah, it was
You
like
know?
okay, I'm going in.
Yeah.
They did a really good job at shutting him down early. He had absolutely no game impact because he just couldn't.
And just to let our viewers know, we are a couple of moments away from an interview with Planet Odd Captain Misery on stage right now.
我是主持人小袁。首先呢，要恭喜到 Odd 是获得到这场比赛胜利。那我们非常高兴能够有请到的是我们 Odd 的队长来接受我们的采访，先跟大家打个招呼。
Say hello to the audience.
Hello.
好，那 Mystery 的话可以看那边，跟我们打个招呼。好，那今天我们看到几场比赛的话，都打得相当精彩。第一场其实 TNC 对于这个整个节奏是非常快的，而这边的话 Odd 是没有适应节奏。但是第二盘他们打出了非常完美的团战拉扯。想要问一下他们在比赛当中战术上有什么样的改变呢？
So you guys basically lost first game and it was pretty disturbing. And how did you guys adjust to that?
We lost the first game and we didn't really expect that they would play so aggressively, and so we just kept dying everywhere. And in game 2 and 3, we kind of just understood how to play against them more, and also just calmed down a bit to play a bit more slow and not farm so much.
他们没有想到第一把他们会打得这么有进攻性，然后所以他们就一直到处死。然后后来第二把他们也冷静下来了，慢下来了，然后也就更加知道对付对方的方法了，所以呢也就打好了。
是我们可以看到反应力非常快，快速的找到了对阵的方法。那第三盘我们看到这个 Resolution 是使用了他的绝活先知，我想要让并且是带领了队伍的胜利。我想要问一下 Mystery 对于 Resolution 的这个先知是有一个什么样的看法呢？
What do you think about Resolution's Nature's Prophet?
I think it's good. I think both Moons and Resolution's Prophet are both really good. That's why we can switch positions like this.
他觉得他打得很好啊，然后 Moose 和那个 Resolution 的先知都很好，所以他们有时候可以换个位置打。
好，看到 Mystery 是给了充分的肯定。那下一个问题呢，就是其实我们都知道这个 Mystery 是作为半个中国 Dota 的国际友人，我想要问一下他在中国的几年学到了些什么？
You're like this one international Chinese Dota person. So like, what did you learn from that?
I learned a lot from playing in China, especially like a few years ago when I lived here. I think it has, definitely helped me understand Dota the way I do today by living here.
他学了很多，尤其是几年前他住在这里的时候，他学了很多在这里住着才可以学到的一些 Dota 的东西。
好，那我们知道今天的上半场比赛在胜者组当中是败给了牛比，而明天的话将在总决赛当中遇到牛比。而且我们非常有意思的是，我们的赞助商有一个叫 Bonbon Cup 的这个 Cup， 我想问一下，它是